Welcome back, Days fans. As the town of Salem continues to grieve the loss of its hero, John Black, the ripple effects of his death are just beginning to unfold. On Wednesday, May 28th, we step into an episode unlike any other. This isn't about explosive action. It's about quiet conversations, emotional confrontations, and returning home to a reality that may no longer exist. This is the day where the heart of Days of Our Lives beats with raw intensity, and every character must face the truths they've tried so hard to bury. Let's dive into the emotional storm heading for Salem. In the midst of Salem's collective mourning, there is a moment of quiet that feels almost sacred. Kate Roberts and Roman Brady, two people who have weathered storms both together and apart, find themselves sitting across from each other, not as former lovers, but as two souls deeply marked by time and loss. There are no heated exchanges, no confessions meant to shake the ground. Instead, what we witness is a different kind of intensity, one born from years of unspoken truths and mutual understanding. The recent death of John Black has shaken everyone, but for Kate, it has triggered something deeper. As she talks to Roman, her guarded demeanor begins to crack. She starts to question her past, not just her mistakes, but also the foundation of the life she's built. Every choice, every alliance, every moment of calculated ambition, was it all worth it? Roman listens with the kind of patience that comes only from experience. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't offer clichés or empty comfort. He just listens, and in doing so, he gives Kate what she didn't know she needed, a safe space to be vulnerable. Their conversation carries the weight of history. There's a sense that something unspoken is lingering between them. Perhaps it's regret. Perhaps it's love. Or maybe it's the mutual understanding that in a town where nothing lasts forever, this shared moment might be their last real connection. It's not just a reunion, it's a reckoning. And as they sit together in the stillness, one can't help but wonder, are they finding closure, or bracing for goodbye? Across town, the silence is shattered, not by words, but by absence. Johnny DiMera is gone. No one knows when he left, or where he went. He didn't tell Chanel. He didn't confide in Marlena. He didn't even leave a note. He simply vanished. But this isn't a sudden whim. This is the culmination of days, maybe weeks, of emotional unraveling. Johnny has been teetering on the edge ever since the explosion that nearly took Beau's life. The weight of Rachel's false accusations, the grief over John's death, and the burden of being a DiMera have all taken their toll. Johnny isn't just overwhelmed, he's drowning. And in typical Johnny fashion, he does what he knows best, he runs. He escapes the noise, the pressure, and the expectations. But what he's really running from is something far more dangerous, himself. His disappearance leaves Salem shaken. Chanel is blindsided, left to wonder what went so wrong and why he didn't trust her enough to stay. Marlena, the one person who's always understood Johnny's deeper struggles, is left heartbroken. The community is confused, worried, and bracing for the worst. But this isn't just a physical departure, it's an emotional implosion. Johnny is a young man buried under legacy, guilt, and an internal war no one truly sees. He's not just escaping Salem. He's retreating into the void of his own pain. The real question now is, will Johnny find clarity in isolation? Or is this the beginning of his slow disappearance, not just from town, but from himself? One thing is certain, when Johnny runs, he usually returns. But whether he comes back stronger or more broken, that remains to be seen. Back in the heart of Salem, the tension shifts from grief to confrontation, cold, calculated, and personal. Belle Black, long known for her razor-sharp intellect and unwavering sense of justice, decides that she's had enough of waiting. It's time for answers, and she knows exactly where to find them. The moment arrives when Belle corners Alex Kyriakis, a man equally admired and feared for his charm, power, and knack for staying one step ahead of everyone. But today, Alex is out of moves. Belle is relentless. Her tone is calm, but her words are cutting. This isn't just about family alliances or public image, it's something deeper. Something more dangerous. The exact nature of Belle's suspicions is still shrouded in mystery, but the possibilities are chilling. Could it be Alex's questionable involvement in a financial cover-up? Has he betrayed someone close to Belle? Or worse, does he hold a secret capable of destroying more than one life in Salem? What makes this confrontation so compelling isn't just the questions, it's the emotional undercurrent. Belle isn't just acting as a lawyer or a sister, she's acting as a woman betrayed. She's channeling months, maybe years, of suppressed frustration into one relentless pursuit of the truth. And for once, Alex Kyriakis, the man who always seems to have an answer, is speechless. His carefully built confidence begins to crack under Belle's pressure. She's not here to bluff or posture, she's here to expose. This scene could mark a turning point, not just for their relationship, but for the entire balance of power in Salem. Because if Belle finds what she's looking for, Alex's world may collapse. And in true Salem fashion, when one man falls, the shockwaves hit everyone. And then, just as emotions reach their boiling point, Carrie Brady returns. Her arrival is sudden, quiet, and filled with tension. She walks back into Salem not with triumph or fanfare, but with the heavy weight of uncertainty clinging to every step. The town she once knew has changed. Grief lingers in the air like fog, and familiar faces wear unfamiliar pain. Carrie's return couldn't come at a more complicated time. With John's death casting a long shadow over the town, and long-standing relationships fraying at the seams, her presence raises a critical question: why now? Some believe she's come back to heal what's broken. Perhaps she's finally ready to face unresolved tensions with her family or rebuild bridges that were burned long ago. Others aren't so optimistic. They wonder if Carrie is walking into something she's not prepared for, something that might consume her rather than restore her. There's also the deeper emotional tension. Is Carrie running toward closure, or away from something else? Her silence about her personal life, her distant eyes as she observes familiar surroundings, these subtle cues suggest that she, too, may be carrying a storm within her. And let's not forget, Carrie has never been a passive presence in Salem. Her return has the potential to shift relationships, expose old secrets, and ignite new conflicts. Whether she means to or not, her presence is bound to stir something in everyone she touches. Could she be the calm force Salem needs right now, a gentle reminder of hope and healing? Or is her reappearance the beginning of another emotional whirlwind that could undo the little stability Salem has left? One thing is certain: with Carrie Brady back in town, nothing will stay quiet for long. What truly sets the May 28th episode apart is not spectacle, it's soul. Rather than explosive confrontations or shocking plot twists, this episode draws its strength from raw emotional intimacy. It peels back the surface drama and exposes the bruised hearts of its characters. Every scene, every word, feels like it's carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken feelings. The tension here isn't loud, it's personal. And that's what makes it unforgettable. We see Kate and Roman, two people who've known loss, betrayal, and love in equal measure, sit down not as partners, but as survivors. Their exchange isn't filled with fire, it's filled with quiet truth. They remind us that grief doesn't always scream. Sometimes, it simply whispers in the silence between words. Then there's Johnny DiMera, a man raised in legacy, now buckling under it. His disappearance is more than physical. It's symbolic of how trauma can erase a person's sense of self. In walking away from Salem, Johnny is walking away from who he thought he was. And perhaps, the real fear isn't that he left, but that he may not know how to come back. Meanwhile, Belle Black shows us what resolve looks like in the face of uncertainty. Her confrontation with Alex isn't just about justice, it's about truth, no matter how painful. Belle is fighting not just for answers, but for clarity, for accountability, and perhaps for the last shred of trust she once had in a man who keeps too many secrets. And then there's Carrie, stepping into a Salem that no longer resembles the home she once knew. She's not just returning to her past, she's walking into a web of grief, resentment, and change. The question is whether she's here to soothe the pain, or awaken something long buried. Each of these characters is navigating a deeply personal storm. Their stories don't overlap in obvious ways, but emotionally, they are connected, by loss, by fear, by the desperate need to feel something that still makes sense. In this episode, Salem doesn't erupt. It trembles. And that trembling reveals the cracks beneath every relationship, every alliance, every fragile heart. So what happens next? Will Johnny find the strength to face what he's running from? Will Alex finally come clean, or bury himself deeper in lies? Will Kate and Roman make peace with the past? And can Carrie truly change what's already in motion? This isn't a story about villains and heroes. It's about people, flawed, grieving, hopeful, terrified people, trying to hold on in a town that's constantly shifting beneath their feet. And that's why we love Days of Our Lives. Because even without explosions or betrayals, it delivers moments that feel real, heavy, and unforgettable. Now it's your turn. What do you think Johnny is really running from? Will Belle uncover a secret Alex never intended to reveal? And is Carrie the answer Salem needs, or a ghost from a past better left alone? Drop your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, so you never miss another twist in Days of Our Lives, the show where even a whisper can change everything. Because in Salem, every conversation matters, every silence speaks volumes, and every return could be the beginning of the end.